In a previous video, I discussed the Republican women defending Sarah Palin on C-SPAN. Here are some of the clips from that event, and I want to go over a little bit over why the Republican women in this video are being a little bit disingenuous, to say the least, and a little bit hypocritical as well, to say the very least.
Liberal websites are outrageously accusing Governor Palin of faking a pregnancy.
Claiming that somebody faked a pregnancy is a little bit far-fetched. It's a bit of a conspiracy theory, but I don't think it quite falls under the form of sexism.
One of Senator Obama's spokesmen accused Governor Palin of being a Nazi sympathizer.
Again, that is stretching it a bit. Actually, it's probably stretching it a whole heck of a lot. But it's not sexist.
They have accused Governor Palin of being part of fringe groups.
As a Republican who holds extremist views, yes, Sarah Palin is an extremist in my opinion, and to claim that is not sexist.
Obama supporters have released her Social Security number into the public.
That's very immature of those Obama supporters, but it's not sexist.
Many people have demeaned and belittled her experience.
This is where we start getting into the ridiculousness of the entire thing. People belittle and demean the experience of Barack Obama all the time. So is it okay for a man to be criticized and belittled or demeaned for what you perceive as a lack of experience, but not okay to belittle a woman for what you perceive as her lack of experience? No, that's just hypocrisy.
I am offended and insulted that the media has made much to do about that. And how dare she run for vice president when she has a child with a disability?
Now that is a rational and reasonable comment. I do not agree with people who might claim that Sarah Palin should not be running for vice president because of how many children she has or that she has a child with special needs. That's irrelevant to this discussion of whether or not Sarah Palin is qualified to be vice president.
The media continues to attack conservative women to seek a way to diminish their record and to demonize their actions.
Again, this is another false criticism because when the media does it to Republican men, you complain about the same thing.
And she represents women of America.
Does she really stand for all women? I don't think so. There are many, many women who disagree with Sarah Palin on the stances that she holds and think that if her policies that she supports would become law, there would be a setback for women's rights and any advancements that women have made over the last 50 years. So no, it is ridiculous to assert that Sarah Palin stands for all women.
You know, I have to say, I find all of this conversation about whether or not she is qualified, which I think initially emanated from the Obama campaign, quite stunning.
But yet, you don't come out and berate those people who want to discuss whether or not Barack Obama is qualified, do you? No, you don't. And again, it's hypocrisy.
Sarah Palin is our nominee for the vice president. What I believe we as women find sexist about the discussion is every single one of us have been subjected to the media description of show horse, not workhorse. That's what this conversation is about.
I was actually going to make a video on this very subject and how I feel that it's the Republican Party who views their women as show horses and not workhorses. So perhaps it's not the people outside the Republican Party viewing the Republican women as show horses. Perhaps it is the people outside the Republican Party criticizing the Republican Party for using their women as show horses. Again, I intend to make another video about this in the near future where I'll go into more detail and give some examples.
Every woman up here welcomes a discussion about her track record.
No, you don't. Every time someone questions her track record, you make it seem as a sexist attack.
And I could tell you this quite frankly, had we been more vocal, you all would have chosen not to have reported it.
That last statement was in response to a question from the audience about why they weren't more vocal about the perceived sexism towards Hillary Clinton. And of course, it's just an excuse. If they actually were concerned about sexism against all women instead of just defending their own candidate, they would have been more vocal about this. And I guarantee you, if they would have come out and said something negative about Barack Obama and how he's being sexist, Fox News would have loved to post it because they would love to show all the divisions between the ranks in the Democratic Party. So, again, it's just an excuse.
Do you concede that Hillary Clinton has been the victim of sexism that emanated from the Republican Party in the past?
No, I would not concede that. I would absolutely say that Hillary Clinton has been subjected to sexism. But, by the way, if there are facts that you can show me, I would be delighted to see them.
Here's your facts.
How do we beat the bitch?
But that's an excellent question.
Excellent question. I think there's all the proof you need. The person who is the Republican nominee for the President of the United States said the question of how do we beat the bitch is an excellent question. And that's not sexist? Please.
But I do not think that, based on my experience and what I've seen, I do not think the Republican Party subjected her to sexism. I think the Republican Party took her on her stand on issues, took her on hard on her stand on it.
And that is what many in the Democratic Party are doing with Sarah Palin and John McCain. They are taking them on the issues. That's what I'm doing. That's what a lot of other people are doing who are passionate about this election, and that's what the Democratic Party is doing. What the Republican Party is doing, however, is making false claims, making mountains out of molehills, or mountains when there's no molehill, about statements that Barack Obama makes or other people make. They're just absolutely ridiculous accusations with no basis in reality. Yes, there are some people on the left who are making sexist comments, just as there are some people on the right who are making racist comments and anti-Muslim comments, even though there's no reason to, because Obama's not a Muslim. So at the end of the day, I think you really have to, they have to look themselves in the mirror and see, are you being genuine or not? And honestly, these Republican women are not being genuine. See, apparently the definition of sexism to the Republican Party is just to attack a woman for whatever reason. I'm sorry, that just does not cut it. And if anybody is sexist in this campaign, it's the people who believe that women will fall for all this garbage that the Republican Party is shelling out. And it is a shame that the video that I found on this event did not include the entire event, because one of these Republicans quoted Margaret Thatcher by saying, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Now, how on earth do you want us to take anything you say about sexism towards yourselves or to your new hero, Sarah Palin, when you then turn around and make a sexist comment of your own? And yes, I will be attacking Sarah Palin in this election, just as I will be attacking John McCain during this election. I disagree with their stances and will be very vocal about that disagreement. It has nothing to do with gender and has everything to do with their flawed ideas on how to fix our country. The Republican administration has squandered our vast potential, and it is time that that comes to an end. Finally, I find it extremely hypocritical for Republicans to be crying about discrimination when Republicans belong to the party that pushes for discrimination against people who are homosexuals. And as I said before, the next president of the United States has to be somebody who will fight for each and every citizen of this great country. And if you refuse to stand up for them, well, you just proven that you are not qualified to be our next president or vice president, period.